The hard board over the top has been working really well for me. I think right now I have this too tight. So let's see, a little tighter. That felt a little loose right there. Let's see how this prints. Now I'm just going to pull up a corner, see how it printed. So this is just an under print, so it's not anything that's going to be seen very much. It'll just be underneath the actual colors, so that's fine. All right, we're going to do our second one. Get some good ink in there. Second printing inks up much better. So I don't have a whole lot of pressure like you would do with an intaglio plate. I've heard people say you just want to skim the top, but I go a little tighter than that. The board gives even pressure across the whole thing, and that seems to work pretty well for me. You can tell how this one printed better than that one. I could redo this, but since it's just background, it's basically gives a warm tone through the other colors. So it's perfectly fine just to leave it. That one a little rougher than this. Okay, I want to do the background green. So I can go ahead because it's probably dried enough. Plus, when the yellow coming through is fine because it's going to be it'll lighten up the color. Okay, I added some more yellow and some more transparent to this. Try to spread it out a little bit so I don't get so tacky. It's going to kind of give a grass feel, even though I'm not meaning for it to be grass. If you kind of have that sense, then that's great. Like this, and I eyeball it too, exactly. Right now I'm hovering it just above, and I slowly drop it down. So now it's pretty lined up. And I just slide it off the table into my hands like this, and I do it paper up. Don't know if other people do it different than that, but that's just the way I do it. See what we got here. It's not bad. I got some wood grain. It's kind of nice. It's very soft green, and it does kind of give a feeling of grass. Let's ink the second one up. I've got way too much ink here. So let's get some more ink on there. Now you notice on the yellow layer I have white that I carved out, and that will come through. So there we go, we got two of them so far. Need to get rid of this. And let me clean this ink up and we'll... Now, do I How much extender do I add? That's a good question. How transparent do I want it, or opaque do I want it? Now we're doing the shirt. I tried to get it very deep when I carved it. It's interesting. Let's do this. At this point, you really can't tell much as far as is it going to be a successful print or not, because when you put that key block on is when it really transforms it. So the highlights basically pretty much disappeared. So that didn't really work. Okay, this color is very important. And I want it to be, there's really not much on there. I want it to be pretty much the color of this roller. Pretty close. That's about what I want. And I'm going to add transparency to it. Very subtle. I like it because the highlights do show up. This is a soft print. It's very soft. Am I in the picture here? Yeah. It's a very soft print. I like it so far. All right, let's do the second one. Now this one, I can tell there was too much ink, so I've got it pushed the ink out to the edges. So at the very least, I'm going to have to let this one dry longer. I thought when I did this I had a little too much ink on there. I bet I could blot this. I might try blotting it. Now, I've never done this, but I'm going to give it a try. Just blotting the ink. I do this with oil paint a lot. Works really well. That worked really well. So you can see, you might not be able to see, but there was texture, ink texture in the face, and so just by gently blotting it with a piece of paper, it smoothed that out. So that turned out, that's much better. So we've got one more to go, the key block in black, and then we'll have 2 prints. 1950s guy. So far I like the way it's looking. I really like the wood texture that shows up. I think I would use more of this wood over the MDF, but maybe pine, if I can get a good, expensive, solid pine that doesn't have a whole lot of grain to it. The poplar works pretty well, but pine's softer, might work better. All right, my friends, we are now on the key block black. I'm not going to put any transparent base in this, and I hope that ink's dry enough to go ahead with this. We're going to try. Black usually prints pretty well. Not usually. Here we go with the key block. I don't have a ton of ink on this brayer because I want to be gentle with my rolling it. This is exciting. Here we go. Final block. We'll see what we have. You never know what you've got. It's a lot like when you have something in the kiln in ceramics and you're like, what's it gonna be? How did it come out? Did it blow up? All right, here's what we got. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. 1950s guy. As soon as I turned the camera off, I realized I missed a spot to ink. And so this is the way I'm fixing it. I've got a little piece of Bristol board that I inked up, and I'm pressing it into that little spot like that. So if you caught that, good on you. I didn't, at least not until I turned the camera off. So that's how I fixed that.